I am Holly Martin, editor of the High Plains Journal. I want to welcome you to the digital edition of our publication. We've thought it would be a good idea to record a video tutorial of how to use the digital edition so that you have all the tools at your disposal and you can use it and make it as useful as possible. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that will happen will be that you will receive an email that gives you the link to your digital edition of the High Plains Journal or Midwest Ag Journal. And it'll look like this. It'll be different depending on what edition that you're receiving. You click here for viewing on a computer or anything like that. If you're going to view on an iPad, you want to be sure and click right over here. If you have any questions, here's an email that you can click to resolve any kind of issues. Hopefully you won't have any, but if you do, you can certainly click there and go through that way to get what you need. So we're going to start by clicking on that link, and it'll bring it up in a web browser. I'm on a Mac, but it should be very similar if you're on a PC. Your subscription ID is your email address that you received the link from. So you type that in and click submit. And it will load the edition, and you'll get a different edition each week just like you would in the mail. Okay, let's get started. This is the way the edition comes up when you first load it into your browser. And I'm going to go through all of the tools up here on the top and over here on the side to help you navigate. The eye icon just takes you to some information if you have any questions. The question mark takes you to a little detailed screen view of all the things that I'm going to be going through with you right now. This icon right here is the zoom in icon. And so, for instance, let's say you want to read this story right here. You click on it and it zooms in, and then you can scroll up and down to be able to read the story. You can adjust how much it zooms in right here by clicking over here on this side and adjusting back and forth, sliding that tool back and forth. It will also remember where you're at, so that if you zoom out and then you zoom back in, it'll zoom back in at that same level. This minimizes that window so that you can get it out of your way. This is a double page view, so when you're looking you can see it 2 pages at once. If you want to move to a single view, you click here and that toggles back and forth between 1 page and 2 page. The double arrows take you clear to the beginning. The ones over here take you clear to the end, the very last page. The single arrows advance you 1 page at a time, or back 1 page at a time. This box right here tells you what page you're on. This is page 2A, and you can see that as you move through each edition, it'll show what page that you're on. If you're on the double page version, it'll show you you're on page 4A and 5A. The next little helpful tool up here is the search tool. You can click on the search tool right there. It provides a way for you to search for articles that you may be interested in. And a good example of that might be, let's find out if there's a wheat article in this edition. And you can see that there's several stories in this edition that have the word wheat in it. You click on, it'll tell you right here, here's a story, takes you to one on page 3A, which is just the page ahead of this, okay? And then you can go back to that same window by clicking here. Another example might be if you're interested in searching the classifieds for, say, a John Deere tractor. Many of our advertisers abbreviate with JD. So you can search JD, and it'll take you to every article, and it'll highlight it in yellow that has the JD symbols. And you can also close this tool if you would like to right there with the X. The next helpful tool is the Bookmark Tool, and It's most helpful if you want to find, if you have a story or an ad, say, that you want to come back and look at, you can add a bookmark. So already there's some bookmarks you can see on the sides here. The crop reports are on this page right here. This is the latest crop report. This is the opinion page right here. So let's say that you want to remember about this field day on August 23rd in Garden City. You want to bookmark it. You click on the Bookmark tab. It calls up this window. You say you want it on the right-hand page and you want to call it, say, Field Day to remind yourself. You type that there. You click Save, and you can see you've got a bookmark. So you go back to the beginning of the edition. You can easily click right there and go right to the page that has the bookmark for the field day. Okay, the next helpful tool is called the highlight tool. You can see up here, if you click up here, you can either have it on or off. Say I want to remember that this Governor Brownback website that has come out about the drought resources, I want to be sure and try to remember that. I can click right here and highlight it. And then I can also click on the box and say, remember this website. Talk to Dad about it. And then minimize it, and you've got a little note there to remind yourself. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is, you'll see here that this whole edition is within this browser window. The other thing that you can also do is click right here, and that'll take you to full screen mode. And lots of times if your screen isn't very big, that may be what you want to do, and you can see that the whole edition maybe blows it up a little bit bigger. You'll notice that the tools go away if you drag your mouse away from them, but you simply just have to go back up and put your mouse over where they should be in order to make them show up. I'm going to exit the full screen mode just so that we can be sure and have all the tools available to us to see what we're doing. One of the other things that you are able to do is, instead of flipping back and forth from page to page with the arrows, you can also put your cursor over here in the corners. It'll say click to flip, and it'll change your page, and you can go back and forth that way as well. All right, now let's move over to the tools on the left-hand side of the edition. This first tool at the top is a really useful tool that you want to use quite often, I have a feeling. It's called the table of contents. You can go here, and it's separated out by sections. The first section is the A section, and it's our ag finance issues. So there's some this ag lending story at the beginning, and so on and so forth. Down to the B section, let's say you want to read the front page story in the B section. That's usually the latest and biggest news we've got for the week. And so here, in this particular week, there was a crop report that was released, and you can see it didn't have very good news. But at that time, that's an easy way to get exactly where you're wanting to go. Another way to view the journal in this digital edition is through this thumbnail view. So right over here, this tab is called the thumbnail view. You pull it out like this, and it's going to take you to the page that you're on. Say you want to go back and kind of flip through and say, oh, I wanted to look at this ad right here. You call it up, and you can look back and see what exactly what it is. Then you wanted to go back and read the all aboard wheat harvest section. You go right there. It's just a more visual way to look through the paper than the table of contents. The fourth tab down is the print tab. You click there, and it allows you to print the left-hand page, print the right-hand page, print both pages, and so on. That's a helpful tool if maybe you're wanting to print something out and take it home. The next tab is download the Flipbook, and this tab can be used to download your Flipbook to your laptop if you know you're going to be perhaps going somewhere where you don't have the internet connection, but you would like to read your High Plains Journal. You can do it this way, and it can be downloaded to either a zip format or an exe format. This tab is the Settings tab, and it allows you to manage your Flip viewer however you would like to. If you want to enable audio, right now this edition doesn't have any audio, but if it did, you would want to be sure and have that checked. Enable the flipping sound. If that annoys you, shut that off. You don't have to listen to that. And then just some other things that you might want to change. The last tab is the About Us tab, and it provides all the details, the phone number, the website, to get to the High Plains Journal. One other helpful tool that I think that you will really like is that you're able to easily click to all of the hot links that are within the stories. I'm going to switch to the single page view so you can see a little bit closer. For instance, this story here on the soybean farmers, in there's a website. It's the United Soybean website. You click on that and it takes you directly to that website. It's going to be a really useful tool so that you can easily find the additional information. The other thing that is useful is that, for instance, this Krause ad, if you click on it, it takes you directly to their website. And so say you're browsing and you want to find out more information, click on it and it'll take you directly to the website. Okay, so that's it. That's the tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed the digital edition of High Plains Journal and Midwest Ag Journal. If you have any questions or comments or something that we didn't cover in the video, be sure and call us at 1-800-452-7171, or you can email us at webmaster@hpj.com. Enjoy!